Good morning from Coeur Idaho. We got in here last night and we are camping right next to the freeway. But it doesn't matter because we are in nature pretty much, and it just feels so awesome. I feel so giddy getting back to this. Loved being in Los Angeles, loved seeing all my girls and my people and being at the beach, and I just love this too. I love getting the time and the energy, and just something about being in nature slows me down and helps me prioritize the things in my life that I really want to give attention to. And this morning is a perfect example. It's like I've been up for probably an hour and a half, and I've been doing my meditating, and I've been making my tea and pulling my cards and doing my writing and making my videos, and I haven't even looked at my phone yet. And that is a huge indicator for me. If I'm willing to prioritize the things that I know I want to do for myself and that make me feel amazing, before I'm willing to get seduced by the distraction of email or text messages or alarm. I don't even like setting the alarm on my phone, because then it's so easy to just be like, oh, and what else is going on now that I'm up? And I feel so proud of myself for just letting that be this morning and allowing myself to immerse myself back into this lifestyle that feels best to me, in the way that feels like it connects me to my pleasure, it connects me to my joy, to my intuition, to my freedom, all these things that I'm cultivating for myself on this trip. And being on this road trip, even already, has really allowed me to deepen into my intention, which my intention is to be in my awareness, be in a heightened awareness and heightened experience of my pleasure on this next leg of our adventure for this road trip portion across the country. And I know that pleasure is always available to me, and I know it's always there, and I know that my awareness of it is the key. And so if I can keep myself in the awareness of, okay, how am I opening myself up to greater experiences of pleasure today, they're going to show up. But if I'm not in the mindset, or I'm not having the intention to give myself that experience, the day is just going to go on. I'm going to get distracted by other things. So through these videos, through my writing, through my morning meditation, I'm really grounding in my intention to experience heightened levels of pleasure through my awareness of pleasure. And yesterday even started. I had a session for myself with my coach while we were on the road yesterday, and it was really sweet. My husband put on his headphones so that I could have privacy, because we were in the car, we were traveling, and I was having my session while we were driving. And she did a little grounding in the beginning where I just got to attune to what was happening around me. And it was such a beautiful moment of just dropping into the moment and dropping into my senses and my sensuality. And for me to feel connected to my femininity, I really had to allow myself to explore and enjoy my senses, which was something that was kind of scary for me because it felt vulnerable and it felt open. And I'm talking about in the past, before I started this pleasure journey, but being open to just the pure delight of taste and touch and sound, and allowing myself to soften enough to feel those things was a really huge breakthrough for me in my pleasure journey. Because I was so used to being strong and being tough and like being ready for anything. So softening and becoming a little vulnerable and open felt scared and a little too exposed. But once I started to really feel the benefits of allowing myself to do that, and the joy and the pleasure in being able to do that and feeling safe enough to do that, it was like a whole new world opened up. So we were in the car and doing this grounding, and I was just able to attune to whatever was happening. And it wasn't even like, wind chimes were, going off. It was like people were flying by on the freeway, but I was attuned to what that sounded like. And it wasn't like I had like aromatherapy going in the car. It's like we just bought burritos, and so that was it. But even just like being attuned to the smell that was like present for me in that moment just really helped me drop into how gorgeous every moment is. Even if there's weird stuff happening, there's something delicious and delectable in every moment. So that has really primed me to come to this campsite and just like be in all of this. It's like there's so many fires happening all around us in Idaho and Washington and in Oregon, and the sky is this just yucky kind of gray, and the sun is so muted right now because there's so much smoke everywhere, and that's a bummer. And I'm able to appreciate that right now and see just like the pleasure and the beauty in being able to experience just what is in this moment. So anyway, reporting about my heightened levels of pleasure are coming from my heightened levels of awareness about the senses, and that's been really yummy for me to explore this last 24 hours or so. So the 3 questions that I want to answer at the end of every video is, what am I grateful for? And I feel super grateful for my husband, because he's really awesome. He's down there at our campsite doing some writing, and he's so adorable. I love him. And what creation am I celebrating? We're going to Yellowstone today. We're going to Yellowstone National Park, and this has been a desire of mine for so long. I've wanted to go there for so long, and it's finally happening, and I feel like so many of those desires are manifesting for me on this trip. It's like long-term desires that I've had for maybe years and years and years are finally coming to fruition, and it feels so good. There's a lot of times like we want instantaneous desires to manifest, but it also feels good when it comes after a while and it comes at exactly the right time. So I'm taking responsibility for manifesting my Yellowstone excursion that's happening today. And what else am I calling in? I am just, again, setting the intention to call in heightened level of awareness of where pleasure is available to me. And I am excited to report about how that goes and what actually comes forward for me today. So feel free to set your intentions, share your answer, and I'm going to go to Yellowstone. Bye.